Hello guys, I'll be showing you how I made this baby mattress and some other stuffs like duvet, like this duvet, and also this nursing pillow. So stay tuned. This is the underlay of the duvet. I started by dividing it into two, that's 100 centimeter by 100 centimeter. This is the fabric for the duvet. I also divided it into 100 centimeter by 100 centimeter. So I got two parts of the material and just one part of the underlay. So I started joining the first part of the material with the underlay using pins, of course. It's very important to use pin for this process because the fabric under could shift and you could be getting it wrong. Everything I'm using here can be purchased in a fabric store where they sell a lot of things like pin, cotton, and so on. But this one in particular, I got it from somewhere and I decided to make it useful. I did not purchase the underlay. I proceeded to sew the underlay together with the material. The cotton here is not really equal to the material and it's just a minimal fault, and I can also work with that, but the measurement should also be equal when cutting. Make sure the measurement of the underlay and the material is also equal, but we can make do with this, isn't it? As you are watching the process, let me ask you a quick question. Please comment down below in the comment section. Is it possible for somebody you call your friend to block you from checking her status, and you guys don't live together, you don't stay in the same country, you stay far away, and the person claims to be your friend and is blocking you from her status? Does it make sense? Or the person would rather die than send you their pictures, like just to keep up and everything? Does it make sense? Me personally, I don't really value those kind of relationships where you cannot share pictures, you cannot even know what's up with the person's life. So what do you think about this? There is a friend of mine I purposely avoided totally because she never sends her pictures. I don't see her status. Nothing, and she'll keep on commenting on my status. Does it make sense? I'm not posting for you, get off. I'm not posting my status for you. So what do you guys think? After joining the underlay with the first part of the fabric, I decided to join the second part of the fabric. Remember, I cut two pieces of fabric so that we use it to cover the cotton. For example, now I'm putting this fabric face to face with the fabric, so by the time I turn it inside, we'll be covering the whole cotton. Do you understand? There will be video for reference. Similar process, I'm still using my pin to hold it down so that I can get something shapeful and better. Guys, I'm looking bloated and swollen. Just ignore totally. This was when I was pregnant. I made this video when I had not had my baby yet. I was still pregnant. I think I was about 7 months pregnant when I was doing this video, and I decided to make the video because I believe this DIY I made was worth it, and I'm still using them currently. I was expecting a baby girl, so I had to go for the feminine color pink, as you can see in the video. I was done sewing the three pieces together, so here is me turning the materials inside out, so you can see that the underlay, I mean the cotton, is hidden inside, so we have a neat edifice. After the whole process, here is me top stitching the edges so that we have more shape. I was also top stitching the center, the body of the fabrics, so that it will give it this shape of duvet that we normally see in the markets, in ready-made markets, and it will also help to hold the cotton, the underlay, firmly with the materials, and it's also for aesthetic purpose too. For the making of the bed, I cut the material 120 centimeter by 120 centimeter in 2 places. Guys, there's another question I want to ask. There's a trending video of 2 ladies that were arguing. One is the customer and the other is the owner of the business. So the customer bought a bag before coming to the shop of the owner to come and pick it. But this owner did not check the bag before she presented it to the customer. So she noted that there was $1,000 and a necklace inside the bag. So the customer was claiming that it's hers because she already paid for it. But the owner of the business was insisting that it is not for the customer because she used to check all the bags before selling and he did not do it before the customer came, and the customer was claiming that she's the owner. So guys, who do you think is the rightful owner of the $1,000 and the necklace? Let's see. Personally, I think the owner of the necklace and the $1,000 is nobody, and they should just share it 50-50 because the owner ought to have checked the bag before the customer came. So what I'm doing next is I folded the materials into 4 so that I can form a circle with the 2 materials. Not really a perfect circle, but something with round edges. I removed about 10 centimeters from the edges. After removing 10 centimeters from the edges, I formed an arc and I cut it out with my pair of scissors. So this is what we have now, something like an oval shape but not a perfect circle. So I cut a layer of lace that I'll be sewing round on top of one part of the fabric. The essence of this lace is just for aesthetic purpose and it gave it another kind of beauty. Newsflash guys, this motherhood of a thing is not for the faint-hearted. You must be prepared mentally for it. I cannot remember the last time I had maybe say 6 hours of sleep at a stretch. Most times I'm always waking up hourly or every 2 hours just to care for my baby. It's stressful but it's rewarding and fulfilling. So I took the material and the lace and joined them together using my sewing machine, but this lace could not go round and it is still fine. You can choose to do full lacing or you can choose to just do it halfway. Either way, it's good. So after joining the lace together with the first part of the fabric, what I did was to place the 2 fabrics I had cut initially, the oval shaped fabrics for the bed I have cut initially. I put them face to face, as you can see, the right side facing each other, and I joined them together too using a sewing machine. Of course, I used safety pin to put them in place before joining them with the sewing machine so that the oval shape part will not shift and cause a disbalance. I hope you get that. Guys, I have a testimony to share. Since I got this sewing machine, I've never had any cause to injure myself using it. I know of somebody whose hand was injured badly with a sewing machine like this, and sometimes we just overlook little things that God does for us, whereas anything could go wrong within minutes. So I'm done joining the fabrics together, and what I did next was to turn the fabrics to the right faces out. From the edge of the fabric, what I'm doing is to take 9 inches round so that I can use that part to form a fence, a wall for the baby mattress I will be making. Just follow along. I think I later changed my mind and made it 12 inches, taking 12 inches away from the edges, because I will still need another space to put the elastic of the bed. So as I'm marking 12 inches round, I'm also marking 1 inch to round, so that I will save time and energy. So after making the 1 inch line on the edge of the fabric and also the 12 inches line on the edge of the fabric, the next thing I did was to sew the lines round, so that I will demarcate the area for the elastic, the area for the edge of the bed, and the area for the main bed itself. I left some tiny opening at the end of a particular part of the fabric so that I'll be able to insert my cotton wool inside, and I used needle and thread to close it at the end. So just keep on watching. I started by inserting cotton wool into the main body of the bed, not the edges and not the area for the elastic yet. So I put in as much as I loved cotton wools into this space. I put in a lot of cotton wool, and guys, guess what? I got this cotton wool from an old duvet. I did not go to the market to buy cotton, even though it's quite cheap here, it's quite affordable here, but I decided to make do with what I had at home, and it was worth it because we even had baby bed, but I just wanted to just do something creative. I closed the main body of the bed using a sewing machine. The next thing I did was to fill in the wall of the bed with gracious amounts of cotton wool too, and this was how I went about it. The bed is looking shapeless right now, but you will see how it will take form as we continue. So I went ahead to close up the wall of the bed using a sewing machine rather than needle and thread as I thought I was going to use. It was not as heavy as I thought, and I still had an extra layer of space to be able to sew it on the sewing machine because I had not yet inserted the elastic. So I got this tiny elastic from a fabric store, and that's what I used to make the bed form a very nice shape. I passed the elastic into the 1 inch hole that I created. If you remember, if you've been following the vlog, and I inserted it, I passed it round and gave it a good tie. I drew it till it became firm and gave it a good tie. So guys, here is it. Did I try or not? Let me know in the comment section. So I took my needle and thread, pink, the color of the fabric, so that it would camouflage, to sew the opening of where I passed the elastic through. Oh, lest I forget, I used a nail with this flat head to pass the elastic because this type of elastic cannot be passed using a safety pin because it is very tiny. As usual, I cut my fabric into 120 centimeter by 120 centimeter. This time around it was just one piece of fabric I used, so I folded it into 4, just like you fold your clothes when you want to sew peplum top. Remember, this is not a peplum top I'm sewing, but a pillow. What I did was to make sure I maximized the fabrics I had, so I used my measuring tape to form an arc with the highest length possible. Do you get? From the top of the fabric, I took about 6 inches from the top of the fabric and I measured it round, and I also cut the base of the fabric and also the top parts of the fabric to form the perfect peplum. If you can sew a peplum top, you understand what I'm saying, so just keep on watching. So here I am, I've gotten my peplum, a full round peplum, and I opened up one side and I trimmed the pointed part of the peplum because I do not need that kind of shape to make the pillow. I went ahead to sew the peplum with my sewing machine with the right sides facing each other, and after joining them together, what I did next was to start filling up with foam. With cotton rather. You can also use foam if you like. So I added this rope at the edges of the material so that I could use it to tie my waist. You're the reason why hiding by the baby, losing my mind. Don't try to save me. So what I'm doing here is turning the peplum into the right sides facing out. I started filling with cotton right away till I got the desired shape and thickness and form I wanted. Guys, I deserve a round of applause for finally putting this video out because it's been a long time coming. 1 year after making this video, I am editing and I am posting right away. It has not been easy. Procrastination is a killer and thief of time, coupled with a lot of activities. Motherhood, it's been so hectic. So if you enjoyed this video, I would like you to share, comment, like, and inspire another person to be creative. Okay, closed up with my needle and thread.